So far, yeah, today we are going to see automation, process automation concept. So the purpose of the process automation is, so if some condition satisfied, if you want to perform some other task in the background, or else like by clicking on some button, you want to perform some automation. So by displaying some screen, by entering the data in a screen, you want to perform creating a record. Like that, if some operation happens, some record changes, if you want to modify the data in the future at specific time, at the time will take help of process automation. So coming to the process automation, coming to the admin, completely without writing a piece of code, will do automation. That is said as declarative development. Declarative development. Declarative development means without writing a piece of code, if you do any automation, that will comes under declarative development. So coming to this declarative development, we'll be having several tools. So the first and foremost tool which was launched by Salesforce is workflow rules. And then next, Salesforce come up with another declarative development tool, process builder. And then next, the very powerful tool for declarative development, which was launched by Salesforce, is Lightning Flows. Okay, so in the initial days, Salesforce will be having workflow rules. With this workflow rules, what we can do is we can do field update, we can send email notification kind of things. So coming to the process builder, it is a full-fledged declarative development tool. So with that, like we can perform automation. So after that, what Salesforce thought is, why can't we have more and more, and like why can't we have multiple development tool? Why should we have multiple things? Why can't we go with a single tool? With that note, they will be come up with a very powerful tool called Lightning Flows. So whatever the things you can be able to build in workflow rules and process builder, they added all the features to the Lightning Flows, and it becomes much powerful tool for declarative development. It's a single tool now and is a much powerful tool to perform any declarative development task. As Salesforce deprecated this process builder and workflow rules, and whatever the companies implemented previously, the process builders and workflow rules, they migrated their requirements to the Lightning Flows nowadays. Okay, so if you want to see workflow rules, you can type workflow here. Workflow rules, you can able to see workflow rules here. So if you open these workflow rules, you can see what you can do with the workflow rules. What you can do, workflow automate the following types of actions based on your organization processes. So we can create a task record, assign a new task to the user. We can send an email alert. We can create, we can make a field updates based on some condition, and we will send an outbound messages. These tasks we can do with the workflow rules. And what each and every workflow rule will consist. We'll see. Can we expand it, or shall we go through flows first? Yes, can anyone of you please?
So, sorry, what you are asking?
Can we go through flows first, or shall I walk through this workflow rules completely?
Yeah, you can walk through the rules first.
So most of the times, you won't get a chance to implement workflow rules nowadays, but you'll be get a chance to review the previous workflow rules exist in a system, and you'll be get a chance to convert these workflow rules into lightning flows as well if needed. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you can see many of these normally as an emails. Okay. So if you want to read the description regarding workflow rules, you can read it here. And if you click on continue, it will take into the creation page. So here there are no workflow rules. If you want to create any workflow rule, you can create it. So while creating workflow rules, you can click on new rule. So here you can see while creating these, you'll be getting two options. Continue with workflow rules, create in flow builder. Flow builder is the future of low code automation. You can use it, create most of the automation found in flow rules. Start using flow today. Yes, can you able to observe these? So even directly Salesforce itself recommending us to go with the flows. Okay. So it
Okay.
means whatever the things you can able to do with the workflow rules, you can be able to implement with the flow builder also. That's why he is suggesting that option. So then next I'll dig a process builder. See here you can see under in a process automation section, you'll be having process builder at last. So you can see on the top of this also you can see notification. Go with the flow with flow builder, the future of low code automation. You can do everything you do with the process builder and more. Salesforce plans to entire process builder and recommends building flow automation in a flow builder. Okay, understood? It means Salesforce want to migrate everything to flows. So they are going to deprecate process builders and workflows. Why they did not remove from here means like a lot of companies working from lot of companies using Salesforce from olden days, they'll be having their automations with the workflow rules and process builders. So if they remove workflow rules and process builder, it may impact their functionalities. With that note, they did not remove it completely. So if they want to remove it completely, they will provide a migration option to the companies. That is the thing. Okay.
So what exactly we are automating here?
Simple. Let's suppose. Yeah, we'll see the scenario so that you'll understand.
Okay.
I'll jump into that now. So now I'm going to flows. So in a process automation section, you can see flows option. So in the flows, you can see whatever the flows which I have initially in my system. These all are the flows which are come up with a Salesforce by default. So now, if you want to create a flow, you have to click on new flow. I am clicking on new flow. It will take us into flow builder. There you can see a lot of options. Like what are the flows available in Salesforce? We'll see all the different types of flows. So these are the different types of flow options which are present in Salesforce. Yes, I'll reduce this size so that you can see clearly. Yes. So coming to the flows, we'll be having lot of options to create a flow. So the first type of flow is a screen flow. So whenever you want to create a record, what's happening in a Salesforce? Let's suppose if I go to app, let's suppose my first app. If you go to this page, if you're clicking on accounts tab, so now if you're clicking on new, so the screen is opening, right? So whenever you click on new button, one screen is opening to create a record, right?
Yes.
So this screen is page layout, standard page layout, which we are having to create an account record, isn't it?
Yes.
Like this screen, if you want to create your own custom screen, okay. So if you want to create your own screen and on your own screen, you want to pass a fields data. Means if you want to create a, let's suppose if you want to create an account record For account, whatever the fields data you want to pass, you can pass that fields data from the screen. And at the bottom of the screen, you can add a save button. Once you click on the save button, this account record should be created in a Salesforce system. If we have such kind of requirement, at the time, we should go with the screen flow.
Okay.
Understood? So
Yeah.
now what I have to do is I have to build a custom screen. Like however we can able to see the standard page. I don't want to involve all these fields. Just I want to add the only required fields on this page. Means on the screen. And the bottom of the screen, I have to add some buttons. Once I click on that custom button, I should save this record.
Okay.
So if you have such kind of automations, we should go with the screen flows. The beauty of screen flow is you can add that screen flow to this kind of buttons. Or else you can add those screen flows at the in the utility bar also. So here you'll be having to-do list, right? Like that, beside this to-do list, you can add that button. Create account. Like that, you can create one button and you can add it here. By clicking here also, you can create an account record. So if you have a screen flow, if you created a screen flow, understood? So we'll see screen flow in a separate session, but here it is an overview session, right? I have to give overview of all type of flows first.
Okay.
Okay, done. So first type of flow is screen flow. Second type of flow is record triggered flow, which is very important flow. Most frequently in a real time, we'll use this flow. So next type of flow is record triggered flow. So today a lot of people absent, right? Tomorrow we'll discuss this record triggered flow. So coming to the record triggered flow, the purpose of this record triggered flow is whenever some record created or updated, if you want to perform any actions on records, we'll use this. So here, let's suppose we have accounts, right? So I have a requirement like, let's suppose I'm going to details of this record. In this, if here phone number is available on any account, if phone number is available by default without modifying the rating field, I want to make it as a heart by writing an automation code. Without touching the field, based on other field value, you want to populate the data in rating field. Not only rating field, based on one field data, if you want to populate the data in other fields, we have to go with the record triggered flow. It means if some condition, if record met some condition, if you want to perform other actions on other fields or related records, if you have such kind of requirements, we'll go with the record triggered flows. Is it clear?
Yeah, that means when we have choice of selecting the data, right? Like it is.
Yes. Let's suppose if you have a requirement like whenever type is not type, let's suppose whenever employee is active, whenever the employee is active, I want to capture the date, active date, something if we have any date
Joining
field,
date.
joining date or something. At that time, what we can do without entering the data in a date field manually, by checking the condition of an active field, directly we should populate the data into date field.
Oh, yeah, got it.
Not only one field, we can populate the data for multiple fields as well. Understood? So if you have
Yeah,
such kind of requirement, we should go with the record triggered flows. Not only in the same object, let's suppose coming to the account, we might have a contacts. So account means a company. So in a Salesforce terminology, account means a company. Contact means the employee of a company. So let's suppose if I have a requirement like, let's suppose under this account, not this account, but Dickinson account will take. Dickinson PLC account I'm taking. Under this account, let's suppose if you have any contacts, okay. So in the contacts, if we don't have a phone number for a contact, though if you have a phone number in account, if you don't have a phone number in a contact, so we should populate account phone number to contact. Understood the scenario?
Yeah.
If a phone number is available in account, if the phone number is missing in contact, I should populate account phone number to contact. If you have such kind of requirement also, we can do with the record triggered flows. It's a very, very powerful tool. Okay. Most widely used flow is a record triggered flow. The next will be having schedule triggered flow. So you can see the description also at the bottom of the flow name. Okay.
Mm.
So the
Yeah.
next will be having schedule triggered flow. So the purpose of schedule triggered flow is, so if you want to perform some task in a background at a specific time regularly. So as I told you, record triggered flow now, right? So whenever you modified the phone number, whenever it happens, directly we are modifying other fields, right?
Yes.
But coming to the schedule triggered flow, I don't want to perform this automation immediately. I have to perform this automation every day at 6 p.m. or every day at specific time or next day. If you have such kind of requirements, you should go with the schedule triggered flows. Schedule triggered flows means you can perform time-based actions. Means you should specify your flow to run at a specific time. Got an idea?
Yes.
High level understanding. Just understand in a high level for most of the important things. For screen flows, record triggered flows, and schedule flows, auto launched flows. These four flows will use most widely. So for that purpose, I'll explain you all these four flows mostly in a separate sessions.
Okay.
Okay, coming to the next platform event triggered flows. So the purpose of platform event triggered flows is if some platform event happens, if you want to send some email kind of thing, or if you want to perform some automation kind of things, you can go with the platform event triggered flows. Okay, so it is about platform event triggered flows. The next auto launched flows. So coming to the schedule triggered flows and record triggered flows, so these are happens in a background. If some condition matches without clicking on some button, this will happen in a background. Automation will happen in a background. Whereas coming to the auto launched flow, it won't run in a background. It won't have any trigger. So you can write a flow and you can call this flow from any button. So if you click on button, that flow will run. So to make you understand this scenario, what I have to explain you is, yes, I'll go to accounts. Let's suppose. So now let's suppose here we'll be having new and import button, right?
Yes.
So now what I have to do is I want to add another button here. So let's suppose if I open this record page. So here I have to add one more button here. New contact, new case, like that you'll be having button, right? So like that, I'll add a button like change owner. So whenever you click on change owner button, what's happening? Your owner is changing, right?
Yes.
Similarly, if you want to add another button like update account. So if you click on that button, and while clicking on that button, if you want to call a flow, it means whenever, let's suppose I have a requirement like whenever I click on the button, I should populate rating field as hot. So make rating to hot like that. If we can add some button. Okay. If you have such kind of requirement, if you want to perform some automation by clicking on some button, at the time you should go with a auto launched flow. Clear?
Yes.
Similarly, record triggered orchestration. It's a newly added feature to Salesforce. The purpose of this record trigger orchestration is here we can club multiple individual objects. Even I did not explore this feature. Okay, so these are the very important thing. And if you go to any type of flow, we'll be having three major things. So let's suppose I want to create a record triggered flow for the first time. So here all templates. This thing, there's a different thing. Okay. So I'll choose a record trigger flow and I'm clicking on new. As I don't create any elements in this, but we'll see what are the different options we are having. Okay. So now what I'll do is we'll see like here on which object you want to choose an automation it is asking, an entry conditions it is asking. We'll go through that thing next session, but here we'll see the elements, what are the different elements which we are having to construct a flow. So on a top of the flow you can see auto layout. So here you can see two options, free form or auto layout. So coming to the auto layout, the screen will structure automatically. Coming to the free form, you'll get an empty page. Here, what you can do is you can drag and drop elements. So here you can see element span. You can see element span. Element span is a portion. Here, there will be a different types of elements. So coming to the flow, we'll be having different types of elements. Based on the flow, these elements will appear. The first element is interactions. Interactions means if you want to connect one flow with another flow, if you want to connect one element with another element, we'll be having interaction elements. So the first element is we'll be having action elements. By taking help of action, what we can do is, so if you want to send an email to the user by taking help of flows, we can do that. So from this automation, if you want to call another automation also you can do. And if you want to send, like if you want to call an approval process, you can do that thing as well. From the flow, if you want to call any development tools like Apex classes kind of things, you can do with these actions. Then next, we'll be having subflow option. Subflow is the option. With this subflow option, what we can do is we can call one flow from another flow. From one automation, we can call another automation by taking help of subflow. The next, custom error. So if you want to throw some error manually from the flow, you can add some error. If some condition satisfies, if you want to throw some error, by taking help of custom error, you can take that. So we'll be having, in elements, we'll be having three different portions. First one is the interaction portion. In interaction, we'll be having action, subflows, custom error. And if you go to screen flow, here we'll be having display or screen element as well in an interaction portion. Coming to the logic portion, we'll be having assignment element, decision element, loop, transform, collection sort, collection filter. I'll walk through these elements later. The next, data elements. So in the flow, if you want to create a new record, you can take help of create record element. If you want to update an existing record, or if you want to update a record which you have taken into the consideration, at the time you can drag and drop update element in this canvas and get records elements. Based on condition, if you want to get any element or any records from a Salesforce system, you can take get elements record. Delete record. Based on some condition from a Salesforce, if you want to delete some record, you can take help of delete element. Delete element. So coming to the data elements, how many elements will be having? Get, create, update, delete. These four elements available in a data portion. Coming to the logic portion, so whenever we implement some code, we have to implement a logic. Assignment means by defining variables, if you want to store a values into the variable, we'll take help of assignment. Decision means if you want to check some conditions in the flows, we'll take help of decisions. Loops means if you have collection of records, let's suppose if you queried the records, we get 100 records. So now I want to check condition for each and every record. At the time, to iterate through each and every record, we have to apply a loop. By taking help of loop, we can iterate through all the records. Similarly, we'll be having collection sort. The purpose of collection sort is if you want to filter the records, like sort the records based on some conditions, at the time we'll take help of collection sort. And the collection filter and collection sort are the newly added features to the flows. The collection filter purpose is, so if you want to filter the records, so however, let's suppose if you have 1,000 records, in the 1,000 records, I want to get the records which are having rating equals to hot. So by applying collection filter, you can sort all those records so that here you'll be get all the filtered records only. So previously to do that, what we have to do is we can take help of loops and we can keep a decision elements. By taking help of decision elements, we have to filter all the accounts by iterating through each and every account. To avoid that, the Salesforce added collection filter. With that collection filter, you can make your work much easy. Okay, like that, we'll be having the elements. So coming to the elements, we'll be having three different sections: interactions, logic, and data. Don't worry, while starting the session, like while explaining the triggers, you'll get understanding of most of the things from this. So coming to the manager portion, from here you can create any variables. In a manager portion, you'll be having new resource. By clicking on this new resource, you can create any type of variables. Okay. With these, I'm stopping an overview session. Tomorrow we'll start with the each and every type of flows, and we'll see like examples for all type of flows mostly. Is it fine?
Sure.
Okay, then have a great day. Bye bye.
You too. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.